So, we're starting Horror Month 2011 at Front Row Review.
We've already started Horror Month.
Yes, I know.
This is not a good way to start the show, though, I can tell you.
Well, we're starting the show.
Oh.
Close the door!
Close the door!
Door!
What door?
It's closed.
What?
Welcome to 2011 Horror Month at Front Row Review.
Tonight, we are going to review a movie that actually has been out for a while on DVD. And we were going to review it before, but, you know, it's such a great film, you know, we wanted to wait until Horror Month to do it. For those few, or for the many, maybe, who hasn't not yet to see it. And it is Insidious on DVD, Blu-ray.
And actually, we weren't just waiting to do this for Horror Month. I had to beg and plead and almost actually fly up to see Dave and drag him to the theater to actually go see this.
I think it was more scary watching it in my own home with all the lights turned off than it probably would have been at the theater.
Well, it was pretty spooky at the theater too.
And right on the front of the DVD it says, most terrifying film since The Exorcist. And I was just like, yeah, right. Really?
So, were you scared?
Movies don't really scare me much anymore. I mean, I jump on occasion here and there. But there's an occasional film that comes out and the main focus of this movie was to scare the holy crap out of you. I mean, when they made this movie, that's what they made it for. That was what was in their mind, to see how much they could scare an audience, and absolutely worked. So, in other words, it did scare you, Dave. What I really like about the film is there was very little CG that was in there. I mean, there was some, but the ghosts and things were practical. I mean, there were people in makeup, and that's what it was more scary. You know, seeing something there, a physical being there, rather than some sort of CG character. And some of the scenes that, you know, they're there and they're hidden in the scene, which is really awesome. I won't give any spoilers, but you don't see them until the people in the movie sees them. And then you see them, and you're like, oh my God, I didn't see that. And that's what makes the movie so amazing. There's very few films that actually come out with the intent of scaring anybody, especially me. I wish they would make more films like this. Like I said, that was their intention. Their intention was not to gross you out and not to have any torture porn or slasher film. Their intention was to scare the holy crap out of you. That was the whole purpose of this movie. Very few times I've ever jumped in a theater. This one made me jump several times. And made Karen, my wife, jump as well. I mean, I had indentions in my arm from her grabbing me throughout the film. I can tell you there was one scene in this movie, and I have never seen my wife do this before. We watched hundreds and hundreds of horror films and scary films. We were sitting there in our house watching it, all the lights turned off, and there was a scene where she literally screamed out loud in the movie. I mean, she just belted out, she started screaming out loud in the film. And it was just like, wow. I said, I've never seen her do that, ever.
One time I screamed out loud.
Exactly. Karen did the same thing, and several times.
Stupid movie. I don't like it at all. Fail. I give it an F-.
The one thing I can say about the film is, like, the first half was scary. I mean, it was as scary as you can get. I mean, it was just terrifying. And then the second half of the film, it kind of went off into a more or less like a possession story, which really didn't have much to do with the first half. So I thought the first half of the film was a lot better than the second half. But I liked how the film ended up. In some ways, it was a lot like Paranormal Activity, the first one. Because it got you... At first, you're sitting there and you're like, okay,
I get it. There's a family. They move into a new house. I get the whole thing, and then there's kind of a lull there. It kind of, you know, little spooky things start happening, just like Paranormal Activity, and then all of a sudden, when everything really starts to happen, that's when it really explodes, and the rest of the film is just fantastic. I mean, it takes off from there.
Alright, so let's take a look at the special features that are on the Blu-ray Insidious. First, we have what is called Horror 101, the exclusive seminar.
Insidious is really Lee and me harking back to the kind of like classic haunted house movies that we love.
It's basically, they're just kind of talking about the film, and if there is no exclusive seminar there, it's just them explaining what the film is, and it lasts maybe 5-10 minutes. And the second is On Set with Insidious, and again, it's basically the same thing. They could have had this all as one special feature, because they're just talking about the film and how they kind of made it, and it's not even, they don't really go in depth about it or anything. They're just directors and actors and whatever are talking about the film.
He loves to joke around.
It's my scooter. It's my scooter. It's my scooter. Mine.
You know, he's very serious about what he does, but he keeps everyone laughing.
The last one is the Insidious Entities, and again, same thing. It's basically they show all the ghosts from the movie, and you know, it's real short. I mean, they don't really go into a whole lot of detail about the ghosts.
I kept rooting for the Krispy Kreme fiend, you know, where I just be eating Krispy Kreme donuts all the time.
The movie is well worth watching, but so buy it for the movie and don't buy it for the extras.
That's probably the only reason I really buy the Blu-ray, is just for the movie. But I like the film, so it'd be worth it to me anyway.
So, on our Norman horror scale, Vince, what are you giving Insidious?
I actually would have to give this movie a 5 out of 5.
And I would give Insidious a 5 out of 5 as well. Perfect Halloween film, perfect horror film to watch in the month of October if you want the crap scared out of you.
Well worth it.
This is a dumb movie. I don't like it at all.
I thought he had the door shut.